Hi guys, my name is Zuri. I'm over 50 and I've lost 50 pounds with the help of the shot Mounjaro. In this video, I'm going to talk about the 4 steps that I took in order to lose the pounds in a short amount of time. And I'm also going to talk about where I started. I'm going to show before and after pictures, and I'm going to talk about where I am now. So in a sense, this is about a 6-month, we're going to roll it up, update, 5 months. In a week and a half, it'll be 6 months. So this is also going to be that 6-month update as well. So if you're new here, welcome to the channel. If you're returning, thank you so much for the love. If you find this video entertaining or receive any value from the video, do me a favor, like the video and subscribe to the channel so that we can grow the community. All right, let's get started. So I'm going to give you a little bit of backstory. In 2024, I finally just became fed up with my weight. I was 198 pounds. I was miserable. I could barely even walk around without, breathing like I was just a mess. On top of that, during the course of that year, my A1C was just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So at the end of the year, I caught myself going to a weight loss clinic. I ended up getting some pills and I started doing the keto diet. And over the course of a month, I lost 22 pounds. Right? Good job for me. So I go back to my doctor after losing the 22 pounds, and lo and behold, my A1C increased. So it was before I started those pills, I think it was like 6.7 or something like that. And by the time I went back, it was 6.9. So at that point, losing the weight really didn't help my diabetes. To give you a little bit more backstories, I have type 2 diabetes, I have thyroid disease, and I am in menopause. So the doctor talked to me at that time and said, okay, let's go ahead and address the diabetes. And then we can also give you the shot, and the shot can help you possibly lose some weight as well. So I was like, okay, that's 2 birds with 1 stone. Let's do it. I was kind of scared of it at first because I have a history of thyroid cancer in my family. My mother had thyroid cancer. My grandmother had thyroid cancer. It wasn't the meningitis or whatever. And a lot of the women in my family have thyroid disease, including myself. So anyone who knows about the thyroid, when you have thyroid issues, it's super hard to lose weight. It's like pulling teeth, and you got to do, a million things in order to get it done. And most of the time, people who have thyroid disease, they can eat lettuce and they still, swell up and won't lose any weight. So the fact that I was able to get a couple of pounds off, I was excited about that. And then he did the research. He said the shot should be okay. So I went to go check with my endocrinologist as well. She said that the shot should be okay. And so guess what? January 2025, I started on the shot. So at that time, I was 176 pounds. I also want to share my measurements because I wanted to see where I would go with the shot and how I would end up. So let's talk a little bit about those starting measurements. Starting weight was 176 pounds. My starting A1C was 6.9. My left arm was 16 and a half inches. My right arm was 16 inches. My left and right thigh were both 28 inches. And my tummy, as you can see by the photos, which was really big, was 41 inches. So your girl was really fluffy. My BMI was 32.7. So that was in January of 2025, right before I started Mounjaro. So it's a shame because I lost 22 pounds. I wish I would have kind of did my measurements before the 22 pounds because your girl would have probably been way more than that. But, hey, there's hope because where am I at today? 5 months, nearly 6 months later. All right, I've lost a total of 49.7 pounds, which I'm rounding up, right? Depending on if I drink a couple of water or not, to 50 pounds. My A1C is down to 5.7, which was great. Again, that was from the starting at 6.9 to 5.7, which is really, really good. Under diabetes, that's considered well controlled. So what are my measurements? My left arm and right arm are both 13 and a half. And my left thigh is 21.5 inches, and my right thigh is 22 inches. My BMI is 27.5, and my tummy, 34.5 inches. Woo, right? So just completely in the pictures, my tummy looks just really good. I don't have any abs or a six pack or anything like that. That's something I'm working on now. But I'm super excited. So overall in inches, that's 3 inches off of my arms. That is 6 inches off of my thighs. And that is 7 inches off of my waist. Huge, 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 huge benefit for my energy. I just feel so much better mentally, physically. This was really the best decision I could have made, especially when you hear all of these negative side effects and what people say. I know my mom was really against me taking the shot, but I'm just so thankful that I had it available to me and I was able to use it on my journey. So my goal weight was 155. I made it to 155 at around the 4-month mark. So now I'm kind of in the maintenance phase and I'm looking to build muscle mass. So now it's time for the nitty gritty. Like, what exactly did I do in order to lose the weight so quickly? All right, let's get into it. So the first thing that I did was I focused on protein. So I've done some research because unfortunately my doctor didn't give me any information, but I found out that I need to make sure that I take protein. So I went and purchased protein bars, protein shakes, protein candy, protein, whatever. If it had protein in it, I got it. Yogurts, nuts, bunch of protein. So that was the first thing I went out and did. Made sure every day I had protein. One of the things that happened to me on the shot is that it didn't take away my appetite, but it did take away my desire to eat. Now, if I do sit down and eat, I can eat. And there's been a couple of occasions where I ate the wrong thing. I got a couple of videos about that you can see. But I lost the desire to chew food, and I lost the desire for sweets. So I didn't have any sweets, I wasn't buying any cakes or anything like that. In fact, my favorite cake is red velvet, and I had some friends over and I bought a red velvet cake for them as far as the entertainment, and I didn't even have a desire to have a slice, which is really nice. So no candies, no deliberately sweet items, right? I cut my sugar down. For the most part, I did the Mediterranean diet, but a couple of times I did squeeze in some keto. I know for 2 months I kept saying, I'm gonna start keto, I'm gonna do it, and I never did. But I did keep a conscious effort on my carbs, and I really tried to keep my calories under 1,500. A lot of the times it was way under that. Like I mentioned, I just lost the desire to chew my food, but I could eat. Like if there was something that looked good and we, went out and got some stuff, I can eat the whole thing. But I tried to keep it within 1,500 calories, and I know sometimes it was less than that. I also focused on water, and a way to do that was I bought bottled water, and I tried to do at least 4 bottled waters a day. And so the first thing I did when I woke up was drink a bottle of water. After my workout, I had another one. I froze one every night, so I took one with me to work, and then I had one with my dinner. So on the minimum, I have 4 bottles of water a day just to make sure that I kept myself hydrated. I also would drink hydrating drinks like the Zero Gatorade, hydrating supplements. I took those. I took a multivitamin every day to kind of take care of any of the nutrients that I was missing. And then I kept myself moving. So every day, at least 5 days a week, most of the time it was 6, sometimes 7 times a week, I would exercise. So I would play YouTube videos. I would walk around, my house. I've got a little island in my kitchen. I would walk around that. I would walk my dog. I did a lot of high intensity aerobic exercises. YouTube has a wealth of people who do exercises on there. And so every day I try to make sure that first thing I exhaust myself. And I did a lot of the exercising on, an empty stomach. I get up out of the water, I get out, making it happen. Sometimes I would have a protein shake before, it just depends. but I made sure every single day that I got the exercise in and made it a point that I had at least 3,000 steps before I left my house. So during my work hours, I also walk around. So my goal every day would be 5,000 to 6,000 steps. But I just made sure that every day before I leave the house, I've already had 2 bottles of water and I have already had at least 3,000 steps. And that kept me moving, that kept me hydrated. And then anytime that I wasn't really hungry, like if I went a long time and I didn't eat anything, and I did find myself doing that, there would be several hours, especially if I was working, that I wouldn't eat anything. That's where those shakes and bars and the yogurt and stuff would come in. That would make sure if I didn't eat anything else, I would eat a protein shake or a protein bar or some type of protein, just to make sure that I had some type of stuff to fuel my body. And the fourth and final thing that I did, as mentioned, I am going through menopause. So for the last year, I've really struggled with sleep. So on a normal basis, I get about 4 hours of sleep, which is terrible because the body resets itself. So many a times my lack of sleep caused me not to lose any weight. So I introduced meditation. I tried all kinds of stuff. I tried sleep supplements. I regularly take magnesium or glycolate at night. I do that. Melatonin. I just tried anything that I could do in order to get me some sleep. And on a good night for me, after using these sleep supplements and trying to do the sleep meditation, is about 6 hours. Never really have been able to go beyond that, but I did make a point to go to sleep at the same time every night, to put a regimen in place, to make sure that I use those supplements. Anything that I could do to try to squeeze in as much sleep as possible, because again, the body resets itself at night. And if you're not sleeping, then you're not going to be successful. A lot of people don't think about that. But for me, again, 4 hours of sleep is what I managed. But by keeping focused on it, I was able to stretch that up sometimes to 6 hours, occasionally 7 hours. But for me, 6 hours of sleep was really a lot of sleep. So those are the 4 things that I stayed conscious on. Those are the things that I worked on. Those are the things that got me over my hurdles in order to help me to continuously lose weight every month, especially being a person that's over the age of 50. Those are the things that I did, and that it helped me. It really did. If I would have slacked up on any one of those things, I think I would have just really been in bad shape. I did encounter several stalls throughout the process. So there were several times that my weight, I didn't lose a pound. Sometimes I lost more than others in a week, and it would just catch up. So what I'm going to do, because I don't want to make this video too long, I did share those tips. I am going to create another video, and I'm going to talk about, one, the side effects that I encountered, some really interesting, crazy kind of side effects, and how I was able to manage through them. And I'm also going to talk about maybe some of the things that I did wrong during this process that I would reinvent myself and I would do differently. But if you're someone who is starting out on Mounjaro, you're wanting to lose weight quickly, those are the 4 things that you need to focus on. I'm just going to recash them for you again. Stay hydrated, keep moving, focus on protein, and get some sleep. All right. If you found this video entertaining, or you're just interested in following my journey, do me a favor, like this video and subscribe to the channel so we can build our community. I'm so happy that you're here. Tell me where you are in your journey. And if there's a topic you'd like me to cover, tell me that too. Let's finish this conversation in the show notes. Thank you for being here. I'm out.